Good morning. This is Wednesday, April 15th. What have you guys all been doing? One of the things that's happened at our house, and you know I have to be pretty bored for this to happen, is I've been cleaning out closets. But it's been really fun to see all the different things that I've been finding. Look what I found. Have you remember seeing one of these? It was my slide phone. Now that's a pretty antique, but as far as I've been finding interesting things. Tell us some of the things that you've been finding when you've been doing your cleaning. So we're going to start back with some Zentangling again because I'm just needing to zen a little bit. And so when we first started this series, we did a week of Zentangles, and I'm going to teach you some brand new Zentangles coming up for the next 5 days. For those of you that weren't with us on our first adventure, Zentangling is an abstract art form that consists of one or more repeated patterns and is drawn in an unplanned manner and sequence. It was created in 2003 by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas as a meditative art form. So you can like put on your music, put on your incense, whatever you want, and we'll be Zentangling together. Okay, let's get started. Today we're going to try to do 5 different new Zentangles. This first one is called Interweave. All right, so you're going to start by just making 4 boxes. All right, then within those boxes, we're going to make another box. Okay, now this is where we get to do the weaving. Behind those boxes, I want you to make kind of a curved line that stops when you get to the boxes. Then you're going to repeat that. All right, so we have some lines that are behind it. Now we're going to do some that are going to be in front of it. We're going to do like a curve and stop. We're going to go over the top of the square, stop at that line, and then what makes it pop is when you fill this part in. See, then you can't see that other line that's behind it. And so if I had time, we would make this nice and solid, but you guys can get the idea. And so when it's nice and solid, then it looks like it is woven, and we have an interweave. All right, our next one we're going to do is called Wild Lettuce. Wild Lettuce. All right, and we're going to start by just making some zigzags across our paper. All right, now at the corner of each of the zigzags, I want you to make kind of a little loop. All right, and so like you can even do another one in the middle here. Depends on how tight you want that. And then you have kind of your wild lettuce. And then you just like add the contrast by filling in the little loops. And you have a pattern called wild lettuce. All right, our third one for today is going to be a helix. It's kind of a swirl with different patterns as far as that you can do different things with the circle. So we're going to start off with just a swirl pattern. And then you're going to start, and you're going to start from the inner part of it and make a small circle. And your circles are going to get a little bit bigger as you go out around your curve. And you just keep making circles, getting slightly bigger as your curve gets bigger. And this can fill whatever space you decide that you need to fill just by how big your swirl is. So you're making circles. And then the variation comes with what you do with those. So you could take and you could make every other one be solid in. And on the other half, you could do things like you could do like lines. You could create all different things as far as different patterns. So like these are some of the different variations. You could do solid and lines. You can do them all solid with like a little bit of area where you have a little highlight. You can make your background solid. You can make them with lines. So with Zentangling, once you get started, I mean, it's pretty fun. You get to make up your own different patterns. This next one is called Manholes. All right, and we're gonna get started by just making some circles on our paper in kind of a grid fashion. Okay, now we're going to connect those with some vertical and horizontal lines. We're going to turn our paper and connect them. Okay, now within those spaces, we're going to make another circle. So we're just taking our patterns and we repeat the same pattern in all the different spaces. And you could continue out on the other parts. Now, inside here, we're going to make some V's. And then you can make, again, your pattern could change, but you could make like inside this part dark to make it look like it's going to go back. You can make your circles be dark so that you have some contrast. And you could have different variations again. So like you could have fill in the background, you could make them be just lines, and you have different designs. The next one we're going to make is called a mollygog, all right? And it's got all different possibilities here that we can try, and you can fill in the spaces with this one. This is the last one we're going to do today. And so you're just going to make some moon-like shapes or banana shapes, either one, whatever you want to call it, moon-like or banana. And so you can like create these different shapes that are together, and they can be little, they can be big. And you can create different sizes that go together. So depending on what your space is, you would have different size bananas and shapes, and they can just keep on going out however you want. And then you're going to fill in the spaces using different designs. And they could be all different kinds of things. So like I'm going to do them a little bit bigger so you can see some of the different designs that you could use to fill in the spaces. So we're going to make just some larger banana shapes so you can see some of the different designs that you could fill them in depending on what you want. So you could do one where you just make circles around the outside, little, not really circles, but just arches. You could fill that in. You could take and you could go arches on one side, and then you could just be repeating that. You can have all different variations. You can make your lines go through here. Make one that's darker. You can make some that are just like arches like this. You can make some darker and lighter. One of the things that makes Zentangle pop is just the contrast when you have the lights and the darks. So you can like make your designs and do every other part darker, or you can just take, instead of having it just totally dark, you can add lines, or you could add circles inside of it. We could do another one. You could just play with all kinds of different ways, and maybe this time it's going to just be filling it with circles. And you could make the background behind it dark. So there's a multitude of different ideas of how you can finish out these different designs. Tomorrow we're going to learn 5 more new designs, and then on Friday again 5 more designs, and then on Monday we'll show you how we're going to put all these together. So for today we've got, start out with kind of a banana shape, then you add more different ones around it, just till you fill out with your design, and then you can begin to add your different designs into your design with just using your imagination. Okay, so that's 5 new Zentangles that you can learn. If you want to get a little further in it, you can get a book. This is a great one that has a lot of different ideas in it. We're going to conclude on coming Monday and Tuesday, we're going to draw an owl and use all of your Zentangles in it. So we'll end up with an art form that'll be a picture. All right.